We've already opened with prayer, so we're going to go straight into our study together. Just a little bit of housekeeping, particularly for those who are online. So locally, it's the 25th of September here. And our camp goes all the way to October the 11th. It's approximately a week now and then another week. And in total there are 34 presentations or studies. Everybody online, if you have questions that need following up, message me directly. We have 8 teachers at this camp. I think there are 5 international teachers and 3 local. And I'll be doing 11 presentations through the camp. 11 presentations through the camp. So on my board work, I will have the study number, and then I'll be labeling my presentations 1 of 11 or 2 of 11, etc. So for my presentations, #1 will mean it's the first presentation of the camp, so you can keep a track of things. Not everybody will be using a digital whiteboard. Everybody does it their own way. Everybody presents in their own fashion. They may not be using a whiteboard. So we have an open forum that we can all talk together. Just need to clarify when you speak how that's going to be handled for the Zoom. Okay, so we're going to have a roving mic. So please put your hand up. A mic will come to you. Most people aren't familiar with speaking in this format. Everything gets translated. So you need to keep your sentences short and your statements clear. So they can be translated well. So for the people here in person, does anybody have any questions? No, we're all good. Just checking if they're good. We've just got some technical issues. All good? For the past couple of weeks, maybe a little bit longer. So if I went back to the Slovakian camp meeting, together we've been discussing Revelation 17.
Alors, nous avons parlé d'Apocalypse 17.
And this has been a recurring theme over, I guess, the last 3 camp meetings. I think this will be the 4th.
Et c'est le thème récurrent depuis 4 derniers camps.
So, if you have any questions
Donc, si vous avez des questions
or things that you don't understand about what's been taught over the past couple of months, you need to ask me.
alors, si vous ne comprenez pas des choses sur ce qui s'est passé durant les derniers mois, il faut me poser la question.
So you'll know that the 5 speakers who have been discussing the Sunday law subject have completed their task.
Vous savez que les 5 présentateurs qui ont le message de la loi du dimanche ont terminé leur tour.
And the studies that I've been doing
Et les études que je suis en train de faire
have been the beginning of trying to get that information that they've presented to bring it all together as best as we can collectively.
donc j'essaye de mettre ensemble les études qui sont faites.
So it seems important to me
Il me semble que ça soit important pour moi
that we understand
que nous comprenions
the dynamics of the book of Daniel in general and specifically Revelation 12, 13 and 17.
la dynamique du livre de Daniel et aussi Apocalypse 12, 13 et 17.
I hope by now
J'espère qu'à partir de maintenant,
we are all comfortable
nous sommes tous à l'aise
that the beasts in Revelation 12, 13 and 17
que la bête d'Apocalypse 12, 13 et 17
each chapter has a beast,
chacun de ces chapitres ont une bête.
and I've taught now fairly consistently that it's the same animal.
Et j'ai enseigné de façon cohérente qu'il s'agissait du même animal.
I don't know if there's anybody here or online that still disagrees with that.
Et je ne sais pas s'il y a des personnes en ligne ou bien ici qui sont en désaccord.
All the 5 Sunday law speakers believe or agree that they're the same animal.
Alors les 5 speakers croient et disent qu'il s'agit du même animal.
So I'm not alone in that understanding.
Donc j'ai aussi cette compréhension.
Is there anybody here who sees it differently?
Est-ce que quelqu'un ici le comprend différemment?
When they go to the dragon of chapter 12
Quand ils vont dans le dragon au chapitre 12 d'Apocalypse
or the sea beast of 13
ou dans la bête qui monte de la mer au chapitre 13
or the scarlet beast of 17,
ou la bête écarlate au chapitre 16.
that they're all the same.
Il s'agit de la même bête.
So just online, if you're online, nobody put their hand up here in person.
Alors ici personne n'a levé la main mais en ligne.
So I guess I'll find by the end of the day if there's anybody online who still thinks these animals are different.
Et je pense que d'ici la fin de la journée, je vais savoir s'il y a des personnes en ligne qui pensent que cet animal est différent.
The only way you're really going to understand what we're doing over the next few classes is if you've watched and understood the presentations that I've done this summer.
Et là, pour le comprendre, il faut que vous puissiez regarder les présentations que j'ai faites durant cette étude.
So as I'm reviewing now, it's only a very quick and superficial review of what's already been taught.
Alors là, alors que je révise, c'est vraiment une révision rapide de ce que nous avons déjà dit.
So it seems important to me
Donc, il me semble important pour moi,
that when we look at these 3 chapters,
quand on regarde aux 3 chapitres,
that we understand that there are 2 views.
que nous comprenions
there are two views of looking at these beasts.
Il y a deux visions pour regarder à cette bête.
So I've already spoken about this several times now,
Nous en avons déjà parlé plusieurs fois déjà.
and maybe someone might be able to tell me how I've described these two views or two ways of looking at this history.
Et peut-être que quelqu'un pourrait me décrire comment je décris ces deux visions de l'histoire.
Just put your hand up.
La main levée.
Justina?
You said there's a panoramic view
Alors tu as dit qu'il y a une vue panoramique
and a local or dispensational view.
et une vue locale ou dispensationelle.
Thank you. Did you want to say something? Exactly the same?
On n'a pas. Je voulais dire la même chose ou on n'a pas entendu.
I didn't hear what you said, sorry. Oh, you can't hear what Justina said? Okay. Do you want to have another go?
Justina va répéter.
So there was a panoramic view
Il y a donc une vue panoramique
and a dispensational view.
et aussi une vue dispensationelle.
Does anybody not understand those terms when we've used dispensational and panoramic?
Est-ce que des personnes ne comprennent pas ce terme panoramique ou dispensationnel?
So everybody understands what panoramic means and what dispensational means.
Alors est-ce que quelqu'un comprend ce que signifie la vision panoramique et dispensationelle?
So someone has said, can I remind you of what that means?
Alors quelqu'un a demandé que je puisse rappeler ce que cela signifie.
So if we were to go to Revelation 13
S'il nous fallait aller de l'Apocalypse 13
and at the beginning of the chapter
et au commencement du chapitre,
we're told that what's being seen
il nous est dit que ce qui est vu
is a beast or an animal
est donc une bête ou bien un animal
that comes out of the sea.
qui monte de la mer.
Stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea.
Alors j'étais debout sur le sable de la mer et je vis une bête monter de la mer. Apocalypse 13:1.
And then it describes what that beast looks like.
Et ensuite il décrit à quoi ressemble cette bête.
So without proving it,
Alors sans le prouver,
tell me if what's being described there is a dispensational view or a panoramic view.
alors pouvez-vous me dire ce qui est décrit au verset 1, si c'est une vue panoramique ou dispensationnelle
In its primary context.
dans son contexte premier.
So put your hands up if you think the primary focus is panoramic.
Alors levez la main si vous pensez que le focus premier c'est panoramique.
So we had a couple of hands up.
Nous avons quelques mains levées
Dispensational.
et une vision dispensationnelle.
A few more hands.
Il y a un peu plus de mains levées
And most people haven't joined in.
et la majorité des personnes n'ont pas participé.
So I presume that's because you don't know
Je présume que c'est parce que vous ne savez pas
and you don't want to take a guess.
ou vous ne voulez pas deviner.
Okay, so for those who said dispensational,
Pour ceux et celles qui ont dit dispensationnel,
now tell me why.
dites-moi, donnez-moi la
So
réponse.
someone can put their hand up
Alors quelqu'un doit lever la main
and tell me why you said dispensational.
Et doit me dire la raison pour laquelle vous avez dit qu'il s'agit d'une vision dispensationnelle.
So who's that?
Alors qui commence?
Just behind you. You got to get right. Yeah.
Yes, we seem to notice that this is the dispensational view because of the rise of the sixth kingdom.
So in the verse, the rise of the sixth kingdom.
C'est l'arrivée du sixième royaume.
So in the verse,
Donc dans le verset,
there's no sixth kingdom.
il n'y a pas six royaumes.
It's just a beast.
Il s'agit juste d'une bête.
So tell me why you think it's dispensational.
Alors dis-moi pourquoi tu as dit que c'était une vision dispensationnelle.
You can't add information
Tu ne peux pas ajouter d'informations.
that isn't there.
Des informations qui ne s'y trouvent pas.
Do you want another go?
Tu veux essayer de nouveau?
No? Okay. Someone else?
Quelqu'un d'autre?
Now everybody doesn't want to say anything because they're nervous. Yes, please put your hands up higher next time. Go ahead.
I was thinking that it was dispensational because I can see that the beast is having hairs that are dying and reviving themselves.
Okay.
J'ai vu que c'était dispensationnel parce que la bête, elle est en vie et
It says it has heads that are alive and dying.
il y a des têtes qui sont en vie et des têtes qui sont
So of course that's in verse 3, not in verse 1.
Donc tu as pris cela dans le verset 3 et non pas dans le verset 1.
Because in verse 1,
Parce qu'au verset 1,
all the 7 heads are alive and well.
parce que toutes les sept têtes sont en vie et se portent bien.
So I guess I'm changing, I think.
Oh, okay. He's joined you, Erica. Just turn the other side. Anyone else want to have a go?
Alors quelqu'un d'autre peut essayer.
We nervous? Who wants to speak? If you don't participate, you don't learn as well.
Si vous ne participez pas, vous n'allez pas.
Excuse the voice, I have a flu. I thought this is happening at a specific time. In verse 1.
Say that again. The last.
Okay. I thought this is happening at a specific time.
Je pense que ça se passe à un point spécifique.
Okay, so it's happening at a specific time.
Yes.
Ça se passe à un moment bien particulier.
Just read the couple of words that indicate that to you.
Alors, est-ce que tu peux lire les mots qui te l'indiquent?
I stood upon the sand of the sea and I saw a
That will
beast.
do.
Donc, c'est parce que je me tiens debout sur le sable de la mer.
Can everybody see that?
Est-ce que tout le monde peut le voir?
If you're standing on the sand of the sea,
Il se tient sur le sable de la mer.
that word picture,
Cette image du monde,
even if we don't fully understand the symbology,
même si on ne comprend pas bien la symbolique,
John is at a specific point in time,
Jean se trouve à un point précis dans le temps.
and therefore it has to be a dispensational view.
Donc, par conséquent, ça doit être une vision dispensationnelle.
Everybody see that?
Tout le monde le voit?
Okay, good. So we know in its primary context it's a dispensational view.
Nous savons que son contexte principal, c'est une vision dispensationnelle.
We could go to other verses and develop that thought to really prove that it is so.
Et on peut aller
So we know it's dispensational. Is it panoramic as well?
Mais est-ce aussi panoramique?
So to answer that question,
Répondre à cette question,
you may have to go to a couple of other verses,
il faut prendre d'autres versets.
as we were just told a minute ago.
Comme il nous a été dit il y a quelques minutes.
Can't remember your name, sorry.
J'oublie ton nom.
Gwani? Gwani? So, Gwani said that heads are dying and they're alive and dead.
Alors, Fanny dit que les têtes, elles sont en vie et aussi.
So, we know in verse 1 that that's not the case.
Nous savons qu'au verset 1, ce n'est pas le cas.
All the heads are alive.
Toutes les têtes sont
So, you get this snapshot picture, or what I've called a panoramic picture,
Vous avez cet aperçu de l'image que j'appelle donc la vision panoramique
that covers a lot of history.
qui couvre beaucoup d'histoires.
The history of all 7 heads.
L'histoire de toutes les 7 têtes.
So it is panoramic.
Donc c'est une vision panoramique.
And what you need to do is to be able to compartmentalize this picture
C'est d'être en mesure de compartimentaliser cette image.
on the one hand to understand the complete or panoramic view,
Alors d'un côté, pour comprendre la vision complète, la vision panoramique,
and at the same time understand that it is at a specific point in history that this story is being given.
et en même temps comprendre que cette histoire est donnée à un point particulier dans l'histoire.
So if I were to draw it this way,
Et s'il fallait que je le dessine ainsi,
we'll draw a line,
nous allons donc tirer une ligne.
and if I were to say 1, 2, 3,
S'il fallait que je dise 1, 2, 3,
where are we, or John,
alors où sommes-nous ou bien où se trouve Jean
in this line?
sur cette ligne?
This line is history,
Cette ligne-là, c'est une ligne de l'histoire
going from left to right, 1 to 3.
qui commence donc à gauche vers la droite, 1 à 3.
We know it's the complete history.
Nous savons qu'il s'agit là de l'histoire complète.
How do we know it's the complete history?
Mais comment le savons-nous?
Curtis?
Because it's told us that it's 7 heads,
Parce qu'il nous est dit il est question de 7 têtes.
so it covers all the kingdoms.
Donc ça couvre l'ensemble du royaume.
Wait for the mic. Oh, over here. Just put your hand up so she can see. Yeah? No, over here. Second row. Put it right close.
Yeah, I was thinking also of the point that John was standing upon the sand of the sea and he was looking back.
We'll do that in a minute.
Alors je pensais aussi sur la scène, le fait qu'il regarde en arrière.
My question was, how do we know it's the whole history?
Ma question, c'est de savoir comment savons-nous qu'il s'agit de toute l'histoire.
Yeah, I was not there. I was missing that point. But I think I will agree to what Katie said.
C'est pas mon point, mais je pense que je serai en accord avec ce qu'a dit Curtis.
And what did he say?
Et qu'a-t-il dit?
Yeah, he is seeing the 7 heads, which is the complete history of the kingdoms.
Il voit donc les 7 têtes qui représentent l'histoire complète du royaume.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Je suis en accord avec cette pensée.
I'll come back in a minute. Cobus?
Alors, Clovis,
Yes, I also think it mentions all 7. So as 7 as a complete,
il dit que là, c'est 7 nations et le chiffre 7, c'est la plénitude, c'est complet.
so it's the same.
It's the same.
Ça, c'est la même chose.
Okay? So we've established that it's the whole story.
On a établi qu'il s'agit là de toute l'histoire.
And where are we
Mais où sommes-nous
in this story?
dans cette histoire?
At 1, 2, or 3?
Nous sommes au point 1, 2 ou 3.
Put your hands up if we're at number 1.
Et levez la main si vous pensez que nous sommes au point 1.
Number 2,
Au 2
and number 3.
et au 3.
And the rest of you don't know?
Et le reste, vous ne savez pas.
So for online, nobody said 1 and nobody said 3.
Et je pense que personne n'a dit 3 et beaucoup ont dit 1.
So like you said,
Comme tu l'as dit,
we're here in the middle
nous sommes ici, là au milieu,
and we're looking back.
et nous regardons en arrière.
That's what you said. And looking forward.
Et nous regardons aussi en avant.
So someone give me a Bible verse
Que quelqu'un me donne un verset biblique
that speaks about this principle,
qui parle de ce principe,
this concept.
ce concept. When you say two, it means today. Two is what?
So, did that get translated?
Quand il dit deux, est-ce que c'est aujourd'hui ou pas aujourd'hui?
So, when I said, where are we,
Quand je pose la question où sommes-nous,
not where are we today,
ce n'est pas où nous sommes aujourd'hui,
but where is John?
mais où se trouve Jean?
Where is this story
Où se trouve cette histoire
that John has been placed in?
que Jean est en train de placer?
Did that answer your question? Anybody got a Bible verse?
Est-ce que quelqu'un a un verset?
Begin with the book.
Commencez par le livre.
Over here.
Bible verse would be Revelations 1,
Alors, le verset biblique pourrait être Apocalypse chapitre 1,
Chapter. Verse.
verse 19.
verset 19.
119. Let me check. That's a good verse.
C'est un bon verset,
I was thinking of a different one.
mais je pensais à un autre verset.
Justina?
Christina?
I was thinking Isaiah chapter 46.
Je pensais à Ésaïe 46.
Someone else give us the verse
Quelqu'un peut-il nous donner le verset
without looking?
sans regarder?
Anybody remember?
Est-ce que quelqu'un se rappelle?
I'm not asking you to tell me the verse.
Je te demande de me donner
She,
le verset.
she knows the verse.
Jessina connaît le verset.
Nobody?
Isaiah 46, verse 10.
Verse 10.
46 dit ça.
Everybody okay with that?
Est-ce que tout le monde est d'accord avec cette réponse?
So, this is a verse that we used all the time in the past,
C'est un verset que nous avons utilisé très souvent dans le passé,
declaring the end from the beginning.
en déclarant la fin depuis le commencement.
I'll just leave that.
Je laisse.
So, you need to understand that verse in its context
Il vous faut comprendre ce verset dans le contexte.
in order to know that this verse is referring to this dynamic.
Afin de comprendre et de savoir que ce verset fait référence à cette dynamique qui est au tableau.
That the story is in the middle
Que l'histoire se trouve au milieu
of some history,
d'une histoire
and God is going to explain what's about to happen by what has happened in the past.
Dieu va expliquer ce qui va se passer dans le futur en expliquant ce qui s'est passé dans les avant, le passé.
So, Isaiah 46:10
Alors nous sommes dans Ésaïe 46, le verset 10.
and we say past, present, future.
Disons passé, présent et futur.
God will declare the end or the future,
Dieu va déclarer la fin ou bien le futur.
which isn't here yet,
On n'y est pas encore,
by the past.
par le passé.
And then another thing that you need to understand
Il y a aussi une autre chose qu'il faut comprendre
in Isaiah 46
dans Ésaïe 46.
is what?
Quelle est cette autre chose
In order to make all of this work.
afin que tout cela puisse fonctionner?
Something has to be happening
Il y a quelque chose qui doit se passer
when?
quand?
In the present.
Dans le présent.
That was the power of this verse.
Ça, c'est la force de ce verset.
You have to understand what's happening in the present
Il nous faut comprendre ce qui se passe dans le présent
because that relates to the past and the future.
parce que c'est en lien avec le passé et le futur.
And you can't see that so easily in the verse itself.
Et vous ne pouvez pas le discerner facilement dans le verset.
So you have 3 events.
Vous avez en fin de compte 3 événements.
But in the verse, how many events can you see?
Mais dans le verset, combien d'événements êtes-vous en mesure de voir?
Just 2.
Seulement 2.
And if we can't if we're not familiar with that,
Et si nous ne sommes pas familiers,
the verse doesn't mean much.
ben le verset n'a pas vraiment de signification pour nous.
So that was Isaiah,
Ça, c'était Ésaïe.
and we're going to now say that John in the book of Revelation
Maintenant, on va dire que Jean, dans le livre de l'Apocalypse,
is going to use the same technique
va utiliser donc la même technique que celle d'Ésaïe.
or methodology,
Il y a la même méthodologie.
past, present and future.
Le passé, le présent et le futur.
Is everybody okay with that?
Est-ce que tout le monde est d'accord?
Curtis.
A moment ago, you said to someone what they said is not written in the verse.
Donc, il y a un moment, tu as dit à quelqu'un que ce qu'il a dit n'était pas dans le verset.
I.e., don't add information that's not there.
Il ne peut pas ajouter des informations qui ne s'y trouvent pas.
So how's what you've described different, methodology-wise?
Et comment ce que tu as décrit est-il différent de ce qu'il a dit?
Hope everybody understands the question.
J'espère que tout le monde comprend la question.
So when someone what the person said earlier
Ce qu'a dit la personne précédemment,
is they spoke about the 6th kingdom,
c'est qu'il parlait du 6e royaume.
and I said you can't do that
Et je lui ai répondu, tu ne peux pas faire ça.
because there's no mention of kingdoms in this verse.
Parce que dans le verset, il n'est pas fait mention de royaume.
In fact, it's not really even mentioned in the chapter itself, Revelation 13 chapter.
Et en fait, dans le chapitre Apocalypse 13, le mot royaume n'est pas mentionné.
So I didn't quite say it this gently,
Je l'ai dit assez gentiment.
but you're jumping too many steps,
Et tu as sauté trop d'étapes.
and if you jump too many steps, you make too many assumptions and you can make mistakes.
Et si on saute trop d'étapes, eh ben, on va faire trop de suppositions et on risque de commettre trop d'erreurs.
So hopefully that would seem reasonable to you all when I said you can't do that.
Et j'espère que pour vous tous et toutes, cela vous semble raisonnable quand je déclare que vous ne pouvez pas agir ainsi.
So when we come to Isaiah,
Mais quand nous arrivons là maintenant à Ésaïe,
what I wanted us to see
que j'aimerais que nous puissions voir,
is the same thing that I think we can see in Revelation 13:1.
et la même chose que nous pouvons voir dans Apocalypse 13.1,
In 13:1,
dans Apocalypse 13.1,
because it's all symbolic,
parce que tout est symbolique.
John tells us that he's standing on the beach, if I can call it, the sand of the sea.
Alors, Jean nous dit qu'il se tient sur la plage, si je peux le dire ainsi. Le verset nous dit le sable de la mer.
So in that story,
Dans cette histoire,
you can see that you're at a fixed point in time. So we're at a specific point in time.
nous sommes à un point spécifique.
Now, I admit
J'admets,
that when I asked are we at 1, 2 or 3,
quand j'ai posé la question, sommes-nous au point 1, 2 ou 3,
in verse 1 I don't think it's that easy to see that we're in the middle,
Au verset 1, il n'est pas facile de voir que nous nous trouvons au milieu.
unless it is obvious.
À moins que ce soit évident.
Okay, so Curtis has got me worried. Okay, so in verse 13:1, I don't think it's obvious that we're at number 2.
Au chapitre 13, verset 1, il n'est pas évident de voir que nous nous trouvons au point 2.
So you'd have to look at a couple more verses to prove that.
Il nous faut regarder à d'autres versets pour pouvoir le prouver.
So then we went to Isaiah,
Ensuite, nous sommes allés dans Ésaïe.
and I don't think I added anything in Isaiah.
Et je ne pense pas avoir ajouté quoi que ce soit dans Ésaïe.
We jumped straight to verse 10,
Nous avons été directement au verset 10.
but in Isaiah,
Dans Ésaïe 46,
which is slightly different to Revelation,
qui est légèrement différent d'Apocalypse,
because Revelation is all symbolic.
parce que l'Apocalypse, tout est symbolique.
John, in the chapter, isn't there at the same time that he's alive.
Parce que Jean, dans le chapitre, ne se trouve pas là au même moment durant son vivant.
Which is the question that Shemaine asked before.
C'est une question que Chimène a posée précédemment.
She said, when is number 2?
Elle a demandé c'est quand le numéro 2.
Is it 100 AD,
Est-ce à l'an 100,
when John is alive?
quand Jean est en vie,
Is it today, 2025?
ou est-ce aujourd'hui, 2025,
Or another period of history?
ou bien une autre période de l'histoire?
So we would have to do quite a bit more research to know when number 2 is.
Il nous faudra faire quelques recherches pour comprendre quand se situe le point 2.
Does anybody not know where we are in the verse,
Est-ce que quelqu'un ne sait pas où nous nous trouvons dans le verset?
or in the chapter even?
Quel événement?
Put your hands up if you don't know the date.
Levez la main si vous ne connaissez pas la date.
Okay, so some people don't know the date.
Donc il y a des personnes qui ne connaissent pas la date.
So that means everyone else does?
Est-ce que quelqu'un
Now you're getting worried because I'm going to ask somebody.
est-ce que quelqu'un connaît la date?
Do you know, Chichi? Go ahead. 1798.
Alors,
That
nous
was it,
sommes
sir.
en 1798.
So Revelation 13 is given in the history of 1798.
Donc Apocalypse 13 nous est donné dans l'histoire de 1798.
So when we go to Isaiah,
Lorsque nous allons dans Ésaïe,
there's no symbology there. It's a real story.
il n'y a pas de symbologie là, c'est vraiment l'histoire réelle.
So to answer Curtis's question,
Alors pour répondre à la question de Curtis,
even though it might not look the same, I think it's the same methodology.
même si ça ne semble pas être la même, mais je pense qu'il s'agit de la même méthode.
I want to know where Isaiah is
J'aimerais savoir où se trouve Ésaïe
in this story.
dans cette histoire.
And you can show,
Et vous pouvez montrer,
if you looked at the story carefully,
si vous regardez attentivement à l'histoire,
that you're at number 2 in Isaiah.
que vous vous trouvez au numéro 2.
So I don't think it's the same as the issue that I had earlier with Revelation.
Et je ne pense pas que ce soit la même chose avec ce que j'ai eu dans Apocalypse.
So in Revelation, there's a symbol in the verse
Dans Apocalypse, il y a un symbole dans le verset.
that tells you it's dispensational, but it doesn't tell you it's number 2.
Il nous dit qu'il s'agit d'une dispensation, mais qui ne nous dit pas que nous sommes au numéro 2.
Not directly.
Du moins pas directement.
You have to read further in the chapter to see that you're at number 2.
Et il nous faut lire un peu plus dans le chapitre pour découvrir que nous sommes au point 2.
So in the same way in Isaiah,
Et de la même manière dans le livre d'Ésaïe,
from the story
à partir de l'histoire
of the surrounding verses,
et des versets qui l'entourent,
you can see you're at number 2 there as well.
vous pouvez constater que vous vous trouvez au point 2 également.
So going back to Curtis,
Alors si on retourne au point qu'a souligné Curtis,
does it sound reasonable
est-ce que ça semble raisonnable
that I'm using the same methodology, even though it looks slightly different.
que j'utilise la même méthodologie alors qu'elle semble légèrement différente.
The execution might look different, but it's actually the same methodology, the same technique.
What is different?
The execution, what is that? Yeah, the details of it might look different, but it is really the same.
Les détails semblent être différents, mais c'est la même chose.
So that's just to Curtis.
I can see what you've done.
Je peux voir ce que tu as fait.
I guess I'm questioning the legality of adding information to Revelation.
Je pense que je suis en train de remettre en question la légalité d'ajouter des choses à cette.
In Revelation, you agree we're at number 2?
Dans Apocalypse, es-tu d'accord que nous sommes au numéro 2?
How do you know you're not at 1 or 3?
Comment sais-tu que tu ne te trouves pas au numéro 1 ou 3?
Just from verse 1.
Juste à partir du verset 1.
Can you know where you are?
Est-ce que tu peux savoir où tu te trouves?
I don't think you can know, just from verse 1.
Je ne pense pas qu'on puisse, à partir du verset 1 uniquement.
Okay, so you agree from verse 1 you know you're at a specific point,
Donc tu es d'accord qu'au verset 1 d'Apocalypse 1, nous sommes à un point bien spécifique,
but you don't know where you are in that point.
mais vous ne savez pas où on se trouve à ce point.
And in Isaiah 46 it's the same.
Et dans Isaïe 46, c'est la même chose.
It just says beginning and end.
Il nous est dit commencement et fin.
Isn't that because in Isaiah
N'est-ce pas parce que dans Isaïe,
he's explicitly said back and forward,
il le dit de façon explicite avant et après,
beginning end.
le commencement ou la fin.
So at least it doesn't seem as explicit in Revelation.
Mais ça ne semble pas aussi explicite dans Apocalypse.
So in verse 10,
Verset 10 de Isaïe 46,
if we said there's a beginning and an end, there is a middle.
si nous disons qu'il y a un commencement et la fin, ça veut dire qu'il y a un milieu.
That's not added any information.
Je n'ai ajouté aucune information.
So Isaiah 46 has a 1, 2 and 3.
Donc Isaïe 46 a donc un 1, 2, 3.
How would you know where you are in Isaiah?
Et comment sais-tu où tu te trouves dans Isaïe?
Just from the verse.
Juste à partir du verset seulement.
It says, because the specific words are that God is going to declare the things that are not yet done.
Il est dit clairement dans le verset que Dieu va déclarer des choses qui ne sont pas encore là.
So the future,
Ça veut dire le futur.
and the way that they're going to do that is by looking at things that have already happened.
Et la façon dont ils vont faire pour le savoir, c'est en regardant aux choses qui se sont déjà passées.
So the inference is that it has to be the middle, because the things that are not yet are future,
Donc ça sous-entend que on doit être au milieu parce que les choses qui ne se sont pas encore passées, c'est le futur.
and if it's happened, it's past.
Et si ça s'est passé, donc c'est le passé.
What was the objection you had with me then?
Alors quelle est donc l'objection que tu as avec moi?
That's fine in Isaiah.
Oh, okay.
Que là, dans Isaïe,
You're not adding information there.
on n'ajoute aucune information.
But when we go to Revelation 13:1,
Mais quand nous arrivons dans Apocalypse 13:1,
I thought you were saying I'd added information in 46.
je crois que tu avais dit que j'avais ajouté des informations dans Isaïe 46.
Yeah, in Revelation 13:1, you can't know that you're at number 2.
Donc dans Apocalypse 13 au verset 1, on ne peut pas savoir que nous nous trouvons au numéro 2 le plus.
You need to go to a couple more verses.
Il nous faut lire d'autres versets.
Sorry, Tina, you had a question? You changed your mind? I can't hear? Okay. Okay, so I want us to understand
J'aimerais que nous puissions comprendre
that there's 2 views
qu'il y a donc deux visions
in chapter 13.
au chapitre 13.
And you need to conceptualize both and handle them differently.
Conceptualiser les deux et pouvoir jongler avec eux.
So sometimes you keep them separate, sometimes you join them together.
Parce que parfois on les sépare et parfois on les unit.
So without going into the details, you'll see the same in chapter 12,
Alors sans aller dans les détails, vous allez voir la même dynamique au chapitre 12.
and you'll see the same in chapter 17.
Et vous verrez la même dynamique également dans Apocalypse 17.
So in 17,
Dans Apocalypse 17,
is it dispensational or panoramic?
dispensationnel ou panoramique.
No one's sure? Panoramic? In chapter 17, is it primarily a panoramic view or a dispensational view?
Alors est-ce la vision panoramique ou dispensationnelle?
Put your hand up if it's panoramic,
Alors levez la main si c'est panoramique.
primarily. Put your hands up if it's dispensational.
Si c'est dispensationnel.
We can all put our hands up. It's dispensational. It's dispensational. Verse 3.
Verset 3.
John gets carried
Alors Jean est transporté
into the wilderness.
dans le désert.
Now, even if you're not sure
Même si vous n'êtes pas sûr
what the wilderness is,
ce que signifie le désert,
if you think it's a place
si vous pensez que c'est un lieu,
or something else,
quelque chose d'autre,
just in the same way, you may not understood what sand was.
et de la même manière que vous n'avez pas compris ce que vous voulez ça,
Someone said 1798,
quelqu'un dit 1780
13:1.
pour Apocalypse 13.
To do that,
Afin de le faire,
they changed sand,
ces personnes changé le mot sable,
a place,
ou bien endroit,
like a beach,
comme la plage,
into a time.
à un temps.
Can we see that they did that?
Vous voyez que c'est ce qu'elles ont fait.
They changed sand into time.
Ils ont changé le sable par le temps.
So you could do a similar thing in chapter 17.
Au chapitre 17, vous pouvez faire la même chose.
You could turn wilderness
Vous pouvez donc changer le désert
also into time.
aussi en temps.
So you can do it that way.
Vous pouvez le faire ainsi.
Or in the same verse, verse 3,
On est dans le même verset, verset 3.
the beast is scarlet.
Apocalypse 17, 3, la bête est écarlate.
So it gives you a specific characteristic of the beast.
Il nous donne une caractéristique spécifique de la
Depending on your ability or your prior knowledge,
dépendant de notre capacité ou de nos connaissances.
there's enough information there to know that it's a dispensational view.
Il y a suffisamment d'informations pour nous montrer que nous sommes dans la vision dispensationnelle.
And anybody not okay with that?
Est-ce que quelqu'un n'est pas d'accord avec ça?
So, everybody's okay?
Tout le monde est bien.
In Revelation 17,
Apocalypse 17,
where are we?
où sommes-nous?
So, we know we're at number 2,
Nous sommes au verset 2.
in the middle.
Nous sommes au milieu.
I say that we know that.
Donc nous sommes au point 2, je dis que nous le savons.
If you go through the chapter, you'll see that we are.
Et si vous lisez le chapitre, vous verrez.
So, in fact, if you go to 13 and 17, you know both chapters bring you to the middle.
Et si vous prenez les chapitres 13 et 17, vous savez que ces deux chapitres vous placent au milieu.
So, someone before spoke about kingdoms.
Et précédemment, une personne a parlé de royaume.
So, chapter 17 is where you see kingdoms.
Parce que c'est dans le chapitre 17 qu'il est mention
It mentions them.
de royaume.
And without going to the verse,
Sans aller dans le verset,
do we all agree that there are 7 kingdoms?
sommes-nous tous d'accord qu'il y a donc 7 royaumes,
7 heads, 7 kingdoms.
Cette tête, 7 royaumes.
Now, not everybody might agree with that,
Peut-être que tout le monde n'est pas en accord.
but if you don't agree, I'll get feedback from you.
Et si vous n'êtes pas d'accord, il faut que vous me fassiez un retour.
So, I think 2 weeks ago, I was given a question about the 8th head.
Il y a 2 semaines, je répondais à une question sur la 8e tête.
The 8th is found in this chapter,
Alors, le 8e est trouvé dans le chapitre d'Apocalypse 7.
and I answered that question.
Et j'ai répondu à cette question.
So if anybody's got any more questions about the 8th head, please ask.
Alors, si des personnes ont des questions au sujet de la 8e tête, s'il vous plaît, posez la question.
But my position is there is no 8th head,
Mais ma position, c'est qu'il n'y a pas de 8e tête.
no 8th kingdom.
Il n'y a pas de 8e royaume.
So if we put that thought aside for the moment,
Si nous mettons de cette pensée de côté,
we've got 7 heads, 7 kingdoms.
nous avons 7 têtes, 7 royaumes.
Where are we in history now?
Sommes-nous dans l'histoire maintenant?
Now you can either, let's do it with head numbers.
Alors, faisons-le avec les numéros de tête.
So the question is, where are we?
La question est donc où sommes-nous?
And so now I'm looking for a number.
Et maintenant, j'attends un chiffre.
It will be kingdom number or head number.
Le royaume numéro ou la tête numéro.
So who wants to have a go?
Qui veut essayer?
Chichi? Second row. 1 second. Second row from the front. Just tell me the number.
I think the 8 number 6. Sixth kingdom.
We're at number 6.
Nous sommes au nombre 6.
Justina, you had your hand up? So we've got 6. We've got 6. Kovis? There we 666. We're doomed. I feel someone was going to help us. Everybody agree we're at number 6? I didn't say the verse. Okay, so now he's given you a clue. So now Curtis has said it depends. So if we went back to chapter 13,
Alors, si nous retournons au chapitre 13,
and now we go back to what I said we're not going to do. Now we give a number for chapter 13.
maintenant nous donnons un numéro pour le chapitre 13.
Does everybody understand what we're doing?
Est-ce que vous comprenez ce qu'on fait?
We've got chapter 13 and chapter 17. It's the same story because it's the same animal.
Nous avons le chapitre 13 et 17 d'Apocalypse, c'est la même histoire et c'est le même animal.
Does everybody agree with that?
Nous sommes tous d'accord avec ça.
So if we all agree with that,
Si nous le sommes,
now if we can have numbers, head numbers,
maintenant si nous pouvons avoir des numéros de tête
in 17, I asked where were we,
et je vous pose la question, où sommes-nous?
and everyone said 666,
On a dit 6,
except
except
Curtis
sauf que
said, which verse?
il a dit mais quel verset?
So he thinks,
Parce que lui il pense,
what?
qu'est-ce qu'il pense?
Number, so what does he think?
Qu'est-ce qu'il pense?
With the mic. Tell me what he's thinking.
He thinks we're in the 5th kingdom. He thinks we're in the 5th kingdom.
He said, she said, he said, we're in the 5th kingdom. Number 5.
Elle pense qu'il a dit que nous sommes au 5e royaume.
So I want to broaden it.
J'aimerais l'étendre.
Tell me what he thinks.
Dis-moi à ce à quoi il pense.
What word did he... I don't think he used the word, but what word did he use?
Je ne pense pas qu'il ait utilisé le mot, mais quel mot il a utilisé?
He said it depends.
He said it depends.
Il a dit que ça dépendait.
Keep it for a minute. He said it depends.
Ça dépend.
He said which verse? I think he said which verse.
Et ensuite il a dit mais de quel verset il s'agit?
And you interpreted which verse to mean it depends.
Et toi tu as interprété de quel
Does everybody understand that? For him to ask the question which verse, it means it depends.
Dans, il a demandé quel verset, ça veut dire que ça dépend.
He might be right, he might be wrong.
Peut-être qu'il a raison, peut-être qu'il a tort. Hein.
So now we've gone back to 13,
Maintenant, on retourne à Apocalypse 13.
and someone said we're in 1798, number 2.
Et quelqu'un dit que nous sommes en 1798 au point 2.
So in Revelation 13, where are we? And I want a number. Just someone shout out. 6. Anyone else?
Quelqu'un d'autre? 5.
Okay, so we've got 666 and we've got depends. And now we've got 655 depends. Everybody okay with that? Who doesn't understand anything? Put your hands up if you don't understand what we're doing. Okay, so we'll go to Revelation 17. We're located, we're in the 6th. Okay, so we're in 17. And the woman is riding a beast. Verse 3. Saw a woman riding a beast. Who's this woman? Anybody want to tell me who the woman is? Erica, who's the woman? 1 second.
It is the papacy.
Keep the mic. So, the papacy, she said. So, I'm going to ask a non-technical question. What number? If it's the papacy.
5.
So, reason why I said it's non-technical because it's not. She knows it's not a head. But she says it's number 5. And what colour is the woman?
Red, scarlet.
Her clothing.
Red, scarlet.
Say that again, sorry?
It's scarlet.
Scarlet. So that's verse 4. And so you've said it's number 5. Or she is. Keep the mic. And she's scarlet. Yes? And what colour is the beast?
Scarlet.
And what number are we if we look at the beast?
5.
So Erica says we're at number 5. Not number 6. Yeah?
Yes.
Who disagrees with her? Kobis?
I'll go back to what Curtis said. There's different things in chapter 17 depending. Because I see dispensational and I see panoramic. But when you ask the specific verses to Erika, I agree, number 5. But if you move to a different place, I'll see a different dispensation.
So when you gave number 6, you were in a different part of the story of 17? So it would then depend?
5 has fallen and 1 is, so I was there.
So it would depend where you are in the story?
Yes.
Put your hands up if you don't understand. Okay, so for everybody online, everybody here understands? Or they're not willing to play? So, we now have a panoramic view, and we have a dispensational view, and depending on where you are in the story, the chapter, you can be in a different dispensation. So, does anybody want to comment on anything that we've just said so far? Besides Curtis. Besides Curtis. Over here, Tina, second row. Keep the mic when you're finished.
I just want to ask, is the woman, do you see the woman throughout the whole dispensation? Different dispensations?
You see the woman throughout the whole story? Or
Yes.
do you? Do you see the woman through the whole story? Do you want me to answer or are you going to answer?
It was a question.
Do you want to answer your own question? Let me ask you a question. In Revelation 13, you see a beast. Is that beast covering the whole story? She said yes. So if I go to chapter 17, I see a beast, 7 heads. Is that covering the whole story?
Yes.
So speak a bit louder.
Yes.
So when you look at that beast in 17, you see a woman on top of the beast. And if the beast is there all the time, tell me what you think about the woman.
She's there. She's there.
All the time? If the beast is there all the time, and she's always riding the beast, is she there all the time?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I agree. So keep the mic then. In Revelation 13, do you agree we're at 1798, number 2, on the board?
Yes.
So I asked a question here, I'll underline it. I said, where are we? And some people said 6 and some people said 5. I'm not sure what you said.
So on 13?
Chapter 13.
C'est dans le chapitre 13.
You think we're at 6 or 5 or some other number?
Sommes-nous au 6 ou au 5 ou un autre nom?
Did you have a verse? Like, oh, just general.
She asked, did I ask a specific verse?
Est-ce que j'ai demandé un verset spécifique?
I'll go with generally, if that helps.
Est-ce que ça peut t'aider?
Or specifically, if you prefer.
Lequel particulièrement que tu préfères?
I was thinking it depends, like where you are.
She said it depends.
Il a dit ça dépend.
So we're not in 1798?
Nous sommes pas en 1798.
We are, sorry. So I would say the 6th, sorry. 6th.
Which number?
6.
6, she said.
Tu as dit que nous sommes au chiffre 6.
So 1798.
1798.
Anybody can answer. Someone else can do it if they want. What dispensation are you in 1798?
Dans quelle dispensation sommes-nous en 1798?
Which number?
Quel numéro?
So in 1798 you're at number 6.
Donc en 1798 nous sommes au numéro 6.
Everybody agree?
Tout le monde est-il d'accord?
Anybody disagree?
Est-ce que quelqu'un est en désaccord?
So we're here, 1798.
Donc nous sommes ici en 1798.
Tina?
Tina?
Can you take me back a little? Oh, can you take me back a little? Where did we get 1798? Where did we get 1798?
Où trouvons-nous 1798?
I remember we looked at Revelation 13 verse 1.
Je me rappelle qu'on a regardé Apocalypse 13:1.
And we saw, I think the keyword was send.
On a regardé le sable de la mer.
Is that where we got 1798?
Est-ce là que nous avons eu 1798?
Sand equals 1798. There was some clever person who did all of that,
On a fait tout cela,
and we didn't prove it.
mais nous ne l'avons pas prouvé.
Someone here could relatively easily prove it.
Alors quelqu'un peut le prouver de façon très vite.
So there's a difference between proving something and just showing the logic.
Il y a une différence entre prouver quelque chose et de montrer la logique.
Proving it is a bit harder, but the logic is relatively straightforward.
Donc la logique c'est plus facile et le prouver ça sera plus.
Which I think we're going to do in a second.
Et je pense que c'est ce que nous ferons dans une minute.
So, I think everybody said we're in number 6.
Je pense que tout le monde a dit que nous sommes au chiffre 6.
When does number 6 begin?
Quand est-ce que le chiffre 6 commence?
No one over here is not participating. Where does number 6 begin?
Quand est-ce que le numéro 6 a commencé?
Anyone over here? Over here?
$17.98.
1798.
So you say 6 looks like this?
Tu dis que le 6 ça ressemble à ça.
Yes?
Yeah.
And tell me 5.
Et le 5 alors?
5. 5 is from 538 to 1798.
Donc le 5 commence en 538 jusqu'en 1798.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Est-ce que c'est bon pour toi?
Okay, so we're at 1798. Which number are we at now?
Donc maintenant nous sommes en 1798. À quel nombre sommes-nous?
5 or 6?
5 ou 6?
So if I go to maybe I'm not reading properly. It says 13:1. I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. This beast that's rising up out of the sea, what number is that?
Yes.
So, is the beast in verse 1 in the sea? It's not in the sea. Where is it? He said the beast is on the sand. Who reads it that way? The beast is on the sand. So you said someone. Oh, we'll put the mic there and we'll come back. I heard something.
John is on the sand of the sea.
We'll
Then,
so we know John's on the sand.
Mhm.
I stood on the sand.
Yes.
Carry on. I want to know where the beast is.
So, you see the beast coming out of the sea.
What does that mean? Is the beast in the sea? On the sand? Or is it crawling up out of the sea and trying to get onto the sand? You don't know? You do know? Yes or no?
No, I don't know.
So, over here. We're going to get the answer.
John is standing on the sand and he is looking at the sea. During that process of looking, he's seeing. And
Stop.
John is standing on the sand. He's looking at the sea. Then he's seeing a process of the beast coming out of the sea, which shows the beast maybe was immense, then is coming out of the sea.
Does that help? What number is that?
Number 6.
Take the mic. Number 6.
Number 6.
This beast, keep the mic. The beast that's in the sea.
Yes.
You said it's in the sea.
Yes.
And you said it's popping up out of the sea.
Yes.
Because if it was under the sea, you couldn't see it.
Yes.
And that's number 6. In the future. If you look on the board.
Yes. Yes.
When you look on the board, keep the mic. That's in the future. Yes?
I can see it's a process that is coming out.
It's a process coming out. I just want to know the number. On the board, where do I write C?
On the board, where do you write C?
At number 5 or at number 6?
Number 5.
Keep the mic. So I'm going to write C here. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
So when John looks at the beast in the sea, Is that number 5 or 6?
I see number 5.
5. Who's not okay with that? You still not okay?
Yeah, I'm not okay with that.
You're not?
I'm not okay with that, yes.
Take the mic. What do you disagree with? Tell me what number the C is.
The C is number 5.
Okay, so tell me what you're not happy with.
Where John is situated and where the beast is situated.
Just tell me where the beast is.
The beast is on the sand of the sea.
With John.
Nah, John is seeing it. It's another direction. I don't know.
Is John on the beach? On the
Yes,
sand?
yes,
And that's where the beast is?
yes, yes,
So the beast is with John?
yes. Not with John. It's on the sand. I don't know whether I say with John. But he saw a beast on the sand, maybe on another direction. It was some meters away from him.
Stop. I don't know what you just said. John's on the beach.
Yes.
And the beast is there as well.
Yes, he's on the beach as well.
Okay, so we've turned sand into beach. Is sand water or is sand land?
It's land.
So the beast was in the sea or not?
It was not in the sea.
It was never in the sea.
It was once in the sea, but the point when John saw it.
So the beast was in the sea. Yes? Was.
It was, yes, past. Yes.
And now it's not.
Yes.
It came up out of the sea.
Yes.
So now it's on the sand with John.
Yes.
And where did it go? Did it go anywhere?
Yeah, it was on the sand, and it was.
It's on the sand, coming up out of the sea.
Yes.
And where's it going?
That will be future. He did not explain to us.
So in the future,
Yes.
you don't know where it goes? Are we at 1798?
Yes.
That's like over 200 years ago.
Yes.
That beast that was in the sea. Who is that? In real life?
Yeah, that will call us to God to explain the panoramic
Just give me the name.
history. That was it's the purpose.
Papacy.
Yes.
So we're 200 years in the future. So you know where the papacy went.
That was the end of the purpose.
So you know where the papacy went. It got to the sand. And I asked you, where's it going? And you said you didn't know,
It's going to the.
but you do know. So where did it go?
It was going to the end of its dispensation,
Which is where?
which is to
On the board. Where is it? Which is where?
be wounded and removed from.
On the board. Which is where?
It is. I can say 1790. The end of its.
1798.
The end of its dominion.
1798.
Yes.
Which is what?
The wound and death.
No. 1798 is? It's on the board.
It's sand.
Sand. Where does the beast want to go?
To the sand. Yes.
It wants to go to the sand. Can it get there? Can it get there or not?
Yeah, he can't.
Can't get to the sand.
He can't.
So it's not on the sand with John. Let me rephrase the question.
Yes. Yes, it can't.
It crawls up out of the sea, you said.
Yes.
And when it gets to the sand, what does it want to do?
I think when it get to this end, that is the end of it.
When it gets to the sand, that's its end. My question is, what does it want to do?
It wanted to go to the sand.
And then what?
Yeah, the complexity of your question in my head is.
If this is sand, and this is sea, what's this?
Because.
What's this? Just fill in the blank.
Yes.
Yes. No. Sea, sand. I'm not going to say for
Because sea and
no,
sand.
just give us the name. Help him.
It's a change. It's land. All right.
Okay. Where does it want to go?
To the land.
And it can't get there.
Yes.
Because it dies.
Yes.
Let's end.
Yes.
Let's pray. Thank you. Holy God, we thank you too that you're able to teach us, that you're able to bring our hearts and our minds together. May each of us have a clearer understanding of your word. That these stories, these images, these models become a living reality in our minds. Only then can we enter into an experience that you have been waiting to give to us. Amen.